Okay, so today we are going to talk about prepositions of time. Prepositions of time. And that basically means using words like in and after to talk about time. Now, some of these we're going to talk about are not prepositions. They're actually adverbs. Like ago. But we're going to use these kinds of words to talk about how to connect ourselves, to time. Okay, so let's just begin. Let's just get started. Okay, so let's look at our timeline. Now, a timeline is a line of time that has a past, a now, or we can also call this a present, and a future. And on the timeline, there are different times from now. Times from now. So we're going to look at this timeline and to make examples using the different prepositions and adverbs related to it. Okay? So here we go. Let me just erase my timeline. And let's begin with the preposition in. In. When you want to talk about the future, you're going to use probably the preposition in when you want to say when the future thing will happen from now. It's always going to be from now. Okay, so let's just do a couple of examples. In 3 months, I'm going to, I should do this, right? Be correct, huh? I'm going to start school. So let's look at that on our timeline. Well, let's say, for example, here, this point is 3 months into the future. 3 months into the future. All right, F-U-T, that means future, okay? And this is now, right? We're talking about today. So in 3 months, that means 3 months into the future, I'm going to start school, or I will start school. And both would be okay. I could say in 3 months, I'm going to start school, or begin. Could also say begin school, or in 3 months, I'm going to start school, or in 3 months, I will start school. All of those are okay. The point is we use in when we talk about the future. Let's do another example for in. Let me just erase this. Okay. In about an hour, I'm leaving for the airport. In about an hour, I'm leaving for the airport. We cannot say, after an hour, I'm leaving for the airport, because after is used in a different situation. If it is from now, we cannot use after. So, in about an hour, okay? Not after, in. So it doesn't matter how long the time is. It can be an hour, can be a day, could be 20 years. It just matters the preposition we use. Okay, let's do one more. I need to go in 10 minutes. Okay, simple enough, right? We use in, not after. I need to go in 10 minutes. Okay, so now let's talk about a go. Let's talk about a go. When we use a go, we're going to be talking about the past from now. So you can think of in and a go as kind of the same but opposite. In and a go, in and a go are used from now, from here. So if it's in, then that's going to be about the future. And if it's a go, then that's going to be the past. That's going to be the past. So when you use a go, you just go this way. But you use it the same way. You just go the other direction in time. In an hour, in a year, in 20 years, or an hour ago, a year ago, 20 years ago. It is from now. That's very important. If you're talking about another time, you cannot use before. If your beginning point is now, you can't say 20 years before, and the beginning point is now. You cannot do that. You can use before in a different situation, but not if you're talking about some time from now. Okay, so let's do a couple of examples with a go. Let's do a couple of examples with a go. All right. I was on a vacation about a year ago. Okay? From now, right? And this is now July. I'm in July, so July last year I was on vacation, just for example. Okay? A long time ago, so sometimes we're not even specific. We don't always have to be specific. Specific means we say exactly when, right? A year ago, a day ago. Sometimes we are not specific, instead we're very general. So for example, we can say a long time ago. And that's very relative. A long time ago could be 2 days ago. If we're talking about something that usually takes a very short time, but this time took a long time, or it sometimes means thousands of years. So it's very relative. It's very relative. Relative, that means that it depends on what you're talking about. Different meanings in different situations. A long time ago can be used for a lot of different things. Okay, a long time ago, China was ruled by emperors. China was ruled by emperors. An emperor is like a king, right? And so a long time ago in this case is about 100 years. Just about 100 years. But it could be thousands of years. It depends on the situation. The point is that we use a go because it is from now. From now. Very important. Please remember that. We cannot say 100 years before unless it's a different situation, not from now. Okay? Let's do one more. I had a cup of coffee about, I keep doing this, about an hour ago. And now I want another. Okay? So I'm just talking about a short time in the past from now. Okay? A short time in the past from now. Pretty easy. Just remember that in and ago are the same basic idea. The difference is one is in the future, one is in the past, but they are both beginning at or from the present or now. Okay, please remember. Okay, now we can talk about before and after. Remember I said you cannot use these two if it's from now, but you can use them, for example, if it is from the past or from some past point, from some, let's say, past point. If you begin at a past point and talk about another past point, that's okay. Then you can use before and after. So let's do some examples. All right, here is 1 year ago. Here is 2 years ago. And here is 3 years ago. Okay? Remember, ago is from now. From now. All right. So, let's say, for example, 2 years ago, I moved to New York City. New York City, okay? 3 years ago, just for example, it's not really true. 3 years ago, I sold my car. Okay? So, 2 years ago, moved to New York City. 3 years ago, sold my car. Now let's use before to talk about these. We could say, using ago, 2 years ago, blah, 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 3 years ago, blah, blah, blah. But sometimes we want to say how long this was before this. Well, 2 years ago and 3 years ago has 1 year between them, right? This is 1 year. So we can say, I sold my car a year before I moved to New York City. All right, NYC. I sold my car a year before I moved to New York City, right? So here is 2 years ago, here is 3 years ago, and now we have said it. Now, that doesn't give us the information of how long ago that was, but maybe we don't care. Okay, we could say, I moved to New York City 2 years ago. And then later, maybe we can say, I sold my car a year before that. Right? So, before. Now, we can do after the other way. After is just the opposite. So the same things happen. Moved to New York City and sold my car. But we can write it the other way. I moved to New York City a year after I sold my car. Now, the important thing to remember is that both of these things are happening in the past. Both are happening in the past. This is in the past. This is in the past. We cannot do it from now. It's not possible. Now, if you're talking about the future, sometimes that's okay. I'm going to graduate in 2016. A year after that, I will get a job or something. So that's okay. That means that's your future plan. You can do that too. It's not as common as this one, but you can. But remember, you cannot do it if it's from now. Okay? Or you shouldn't do it if it's from now. If you say it, people can understand, but it's not really correct. Okay? Let's look at some more examples of before. Before the 1970s, there was no internet. So the beginning of the internet was the 1970s. This is a past point, right? Before that, why do I always do this? Before that, there wasn't. Another example. Did you take the keys? Before you left home? Did you take the keys before you left home? That's also okay. We're talking about events. In this case, we don't care how long before it happened, right? We don't say, did you take the keys 5 minutes before you left home? That would be a bit strange. And so we don't do that. But we can say an event happened before another event, or did an event happen before another event? And that is really okay. That is really no problem. We can do that. So let's look at a couple of examples of after. And that's basically the same idea. I left home after I took the keys. Okay, the opposite, right? No problem. About 50 years after World War II, it's a famous war, after World War II, Germany and America, oops, Americans will be angry, and America were good friends. About 50 years after World War II, and this is the war where the Germans fought the Americans, they killed each other, Germany and America were good friends. Okay, so we can say it also like this. Sometimes we want to say something happened at some past point, but we don't want to say what exact time it will happen. We could say, for example, I'm leaving after 3. And that's okay. I'm leaving after 3 is a good sentence. But, and that's the future, right? We can say that in the future. I'm leaving after 3. Or I'm leaving before 3. It's a future point, right? So if, let's say 3 p.m. is right here, and you're going to leave after this time, you would say, I'm leaving after 3. That's a future point. And if you want to leave before 3, you can also say that. But both of these are from a future point, not from now. Right? We wouldn't say, I'm leaving after now. We can't say, I'm leaving after now. We would say, I'm leaving in blah, blah, blah minutes, or I'm leaving at 3, or something like that. Also would be in the future. So, the thing to remember about the ones we talked about so far is that sometimes, if you're talking about from now, you can only use certain prepositions or adverbs. And it's the same if you're going into the past. You can only use certain prepositions and adverbs. And if you're beginning at a past point or a future point, you can also only use certain prepositions or adverbs. You can't use any ones you like, right? Remember, in the past or the future, we can use before and after. If it's from now, we can use in and ago. Okay? So, if you have any questions about these or you have some difficulty understanding, you can message me on WeChat and I will be happy to answer your questions. Okay? So I will see you next time.